Duet Night Abyss suffers from an oversaturation of content, and it can be overwhelming to know what to do and when to do it. So in this video, I'm going to give you some ideas of challenges to try to conquer or goals to set yourself for when the decision paralysis strikes. These tasks will be challenging, efficient, and hopefully enjoyable. I'm Shrike. Like, comment, and subscribe for more DNA content. Let's dive in. The first will be to try to get every single fish in all 3 regions, soon to be 4 if there's one in Huashu. And not just every fish, every variant too. This is actually the most boring of my suggestions, but it's on the list because of how incredibly valuable the items from the fishing shop are. From the repeatedly purchasable skill up material Twilight Tread, to practically the only place you can get Geniemon level up material, and many other goodies. But fishing just to purchase those items is incredibly grueling, unless you just really like the minigame. However, turning your attention instead to the task of getting each kind of fish in the game, including all the variants, can make this task seem more enjoyable. The next on the list is actually enjoyable all on its own, but it is in a game mode that could use some attention from the devs for sure. It's the maze. Same idea as the fishing in that the items from the maze shop are, you'll have to forgive me, it has to be done, amazing. In addition to all the one-time purchases that disappear when you've bought them all, and all the consonance weapon wedges, there are the coins as well. Always available for only 50 thread things each, and you've probably noticed that coins are extremely valuable in this game. And the maze is by far the most efficient way to get them. A couple methods come close, including selling off some unused materials, but nothing beats the maze in repeatability and yield when it comes to coins. But what's the goal or challenge here? It comes after hitting level 60 and being granted access to the leveled up version of the maze, wherein you can select any amount of buffs for the enemies or inconveniences for yourself, and your rewards at the end will scale accordingly. The challenge here is to clear it with every single one selected. And let me tell you, some of them, like this one, all choices are randomized, or this, decreased healing received by 50%, can really make clearing the stage a pain in the butt. But what I did was added 1 item each time I went in. Even if I wasn't sure I'd be able to do it, I pushed myself each time. It was harder and harder, but clearing it made it that much more satisfying. And I wasn't even thinking about the threads I was getting as a reward. With all of them selected, you'll come away with about 9,000 of them. And that's a heck of a lot of coins. Personally though, the last one I added was the randomizer one, and with how much longer that took me to clear, it just wasn't worth it to me. So now I run the maze with every single one selected, except that. And if you want my suggestions on who to use it to clear, just use Psyche. Bring your shiny Mr. Goodnight, go with the Glimmerfly build, grab a healing received up 40% buff, and a healing whenever you summon buff, and then just damage insanity from there, and you're golden. You'll hover at pretty low health, but just don't get hit, stay in the air, keep circling, and it ends up being pretty easy, especially for the rewards you get. The next thing I suggest doing is starting to look at golden demon wedges. There's an overwhelming amount to choose from, and it can be hard to choose what to go after first. Well, I have some suggestions. You'll want wedges that can be applied to any element, that way they're less restrictive. So the first one I suggest is Wings Inspo, whose blueprint can be acquired from the final section of the Noctoyager manual, unlocked after hitting level 60. Trying to forge it will show you the purple versions, and then you can just click that to be sent to the stage to farm those. You'll need to get 10 gold blueprints, and then you'll have to grind a lot of purples, for which I recommend using books. Since they kind of have a set spread that they drop at, it's not totally random. It kind of drops each in order, so you'll need to slog through a lot of drops you don't want in order to get the ones you do want. Another type of wedge I suggest is Duel, which is incredible against bosses, but also with any character that isn't right in the thick of battle. So you may not want it on your Fantasio or Lisbel, but your Psyche, Lynn, probably even Lady Knifel, can all make good use of it as long as you make a conscious effort to keep your distance from the enemies. Also, Trapped, Onslaught, and Surge are all very good options depending on who you like to use. Read the wedges and decide if your chosen playstyle could make good use of them, and if so, grab the blueprints, all from the level 70 section of the Noctoiger manual, second from the last. I forget when this one unlocks, but it's before trial rank 60, I know that, and then grind away. The last one on this list is a combination of two tasks that overlap in many ways, so it's on here for efficiency's sake. It's shiny Geniemon hunting. A satisfying hobby in its own right, but this time we combine it with collecting mushrooms from the sewers and then silverite from the Glevum pit while we're there tracking shinies with our bro Boxy. These are the ingredients needed to make Geniemon food, so the tasks feed into each other. If you aren't familiar, Geniemon refresh on the map, I think every 3 days. The mushroom and silverite I think are daily. And if you fail a feeding, you can mark the spot on your map and the very same Geniemon will appear there within a few respawns. It's not guaranteed to be the next, but it will return to that spot. You can even combine these tasks with hunting for an at-peace inactive Geniemon. These ones, the inactives I mean, you can recognize because they'll either be these jello fellows or the robotic looking ones. And they'll say inactive right here as well. If you select a max rarity Geniemon food and the catch rate goes to 100%, then it isn't an at peace. When that happens, I just use generic food, and if I get it, I get it. If not, who cares? Same with the shinies. I only use the rare Geniemon food on the shinies unless they're really rare 5-star ones, like Mr. Goodnight or Pear Rabbit. And as you can see here, I've collected 8 unique shinies, but you'll eventually start noticing that some shinies are more common than others. Shiny Shroomy, for instance, I'm kind of sick of finding. Him and the shiny Lumi too, honestly. And this task can benefit from the fishing task too, the first of my suggestions, because that's how you'll get all the mats to level up all your new shiny Geniemon. But that's going to do it for my suggestions. If you have any unique or interesting challenges you've found to reduce the heavy grind feeling of the game, feel free to share them in the comments. And with that being said, I'm gonna fly. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.